and literally it feels like they are my children. And I'm so thankful for them, and I'm so thankful that I have a job that I love and that I can pour my passion into and my soul into. I'm thankful that my mother is still healthy. She's staying quarantined right now. She has cancer, but she's healthy for right now. She's doing well. I'm thankful that I'm here with my boyfriend and my daughter. And we're getting into a new routine. We're trying to find a new normal, and we're kind of getting into the flow of it. So those are some things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that I can still run and work out and do CrossFit. Okay, I'm done.
Yay!
Thank you. Oops, hold on, let me switch this. Okay, I am done.
Next.
I'm complete.
All right. Do you want me to call on a name? David?
Sure. Yeah, it's probably best you just call on people because I don't want to interrupt anybody who wants to start. My gratitude for the day, for probably the last couple of days, has been persistence. I've been speaking to a lot of people who are just in negative places, and I'm thankful that I'm a very persistent person. Persistent to be positive, persistent to overcome the situation that we're all in, persistent to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I know I have to fill out a government grant to keep businesses going, and checking in on people, trying to encourage people, being persistent about that. I thought about it this morning that I was very grateful for being just a very persistent person. I think a lot of people right now are giving up. It's so much easier to just watch Netflix right now than it is to focus on yourself, focus on your business, focus on the people around you, picking up a phone and calling them even though that you know that they're going to be down, and trying to be encouraging. So thankful for being persistent.
I love it. Are you complete?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Jessica? Jessica? Turn that camera on, woman! Turn that Judge Judy off and come on!
Hey, listen. Okay, so this week I'm really grateful that I took a leap of faith last Monday and I did a live video about my chaos in my home. Turns out it reached a massive amount of people, even ones that didn't have kids, and sparked a little joy in their lives. So if you ever do run across my live videos, don't be like Teresa who thinks they're negative. It's actually just real life, and people are like, I feel all of that. So I've had a really great couple of weeks doing that, and the other thing that I have a lot of gratitude for is that the beauty industry peaks during times like this. It doesn't decrease. So I had no idea that people want to look good, even though the world is literally in, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Shift. It's shifting.
What?
It's in a shift.
It's in a shift.
Yeah.
It's in a season.
Yes.
It's like a season.
It's
So
winter.
even though, again. So even though the world is kind of in its season, it's not hurting my business. So I have a lot of gratitude. Will I feel it a little bit, but there's still people out there that want to not have wrinkles, so I'm cool. The other thing is just random people, just, people checking in on people. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow. She's turning 6. She doesn't understand what's going on, and she honestly thought it was my fault. So I've had a flood of cards and presents being mailed to me from all over the country from my friends. Their kids making cards. So it's really cool. So we're really excited to celebrate her birthday tomorrow. It's a different birthday, but it's still just as special. So that is really all my gratitudes. It's been a pretty awesome week and a half. So with that, what do I say? I'm complete.
Yes.
I'm complete.
Woohoo! Okay, Jackie.
Can we go to Lee? Because
Yes.
1 minute I'll be out of this car and I can talk.
Absolutely. Lee, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for this period to be able to, with not able to do some of the things that I normally would be doing, to be able to really look at just kind of fine-tuning my business and kind of the back end structures of things, to how I'm reaching people, reaching the clients. Just kind of refining the business systems and structures, which I really haven't focused as much on as I probably should have. So definitely grateful for that, and just the alternative perspective that has popped up, to be able to offer some different things like the Zoom calls and attend these types of meetings, and I'm offering breath work and posting workout videos and stuff like that. So just a whole new perspective on how to reach people and provide support and service at maybe a different level than what was there before. I'm complete.
I love it. Yeah, Jackie and I and everyone involved, if the 11 degrees can completely relate to that. Thank you. Working on the back end. Carol, can you hear me? You want to do your gratitudes?
I should. I was eating. Yes, of course. I'm grateful for my food. My God, I'm so grateful for it. I was hungry. I'm so grateful to be here in the call with you guys. I'm grateful to spend so much time with my daughters and having so much fun at home. And I'm very grateful that today I have so far a very productive day. I'm grateful for my home and my little doggies, and I'm complete.
Yay. Jackie, you're up.
Okay. Oh, I'm off mute already. What I'm grateful for is the things that I've been able to let go of since we've started this stay home. And some of it's just small things, but I'm learning that everything that I take out, I clear the dust bunnies out, and it's making more space in my life for the things that are really fulfilling. So for instance, just buying lipstick or nail polish or something, I've let go of all of those little things. I've opened myself up to prosperity consciousness, which just means that I'm changing my belief about how money comes into my life, which is really amazing. And what I've learned through all this PDC, personal development training, is that honestly, I don't think I have any more breakthroughs. And then all of a sudden, there's another breakthrough and another breakthrough. And it can be the small things, but it's the small things that are like splinters that have been, festering in my life. And so now I'm just clearing it out, and I feel like the path is just less weedy and way more beautiful, and I'm complete. I feel strong.
I am extremely grateful for everybody that has shown up on this call today. I can't tell you what that means to me, and I know Jackie too. And I am so grateful for all the knowledge that you bring to the group, and the wisdom and the encouragement and the high frequency and the energy, and just very grateful for all of you. And I'm grateful for this time. I'm grateful for the quarantine. It has forced me to be still. And that is something that God has had to force me to do a few times in my life. And I never like it at first, but then I'm so grateful for it. Once I get into the flow of it, I guess. And everything that I learn about myself and just the awareness. That's my dog coughing. Yeah, thanks, Faith. Yeah, I'm so grateful for the training that we've been in and everything that's just, like you said, the breakthroughs. I think, oh, I'm not going to get another breakthrough. And then it's like, oh, wow, that's why I do that behavior. How weird. So yeah, no, I am very grateful. I'm complete. And my dog is, sorry, in the background. One of the things I wanted to say is it's never about our resources. It's about our resourcefulness. And actually, David and I were going to go on a call, and so I'm going to put David on the spot. And so David, you're very business savvy, and it sounds like you've been finding out information about the grants that are available. And can you update us on what you know about that? Because a lot of people have been reaching out to me and asking me if I know anything about it. Getting unemployment if you're on commission base only. They just approved that. I got a text today. What do you know about it? Because I'd love to hear.
Well, I've got probably about 10 people that are really close to me that I'm working with, and they come from all walks of life, from business owners to realtors, to bankers, that we're working really closely on all this. And I've been doing a lot of research. It depends on what you're looking for. It's kind of a loaded question. I have a link, and I can send this out to anybody who needs it. I have a link for the Small Business Association loan that you're most likely going to get denied for to get a $10,000 grant. Kind of a strange process they rolled out, but that applies for sole proprietors, which are real estate agents, any small businesses that don't have any employees, anybody in your life that files their taxes as a sole proprietor. There's a different SBA loan that can cover payroll right now. I spent the last 28 hours filling it out, which sounds like a lot, but it comes with a checklist of all these forms and things you have to turn in with it. And that's what took so long, was kind of gathering all this information. You have to have a bunch of forms, and I can walk anybody through how I did that. We submitted all of that this morning to the bank. As of right now, the SBA loan payroll protection program doesn't take effect. You can't even apply for it until tomorrow afternoon. So that's why we're trying to push really hard right now to get in line, because that's a grant. And so I'd say it's a grant. It's a loan that has such a large funding behind it, and it'll run out. If you use it correctly for payroll, I don't know if anybody here has employees, or if you are employed, your employer can apply for this loan that can be forgiven if you're spent correctly. And it's changing constantly on the guidelines and stipulations. So that's pretty much the two things that we've seen roll out. You can also, if you get your hours cut back, or even I got a friend who's a realtor, just because he is going to be impacted by it, the new stimulus package says that realtors can apply for unemployment just because, and because they know you're going to be impacted by it. And it's funny. I talk to people; they're definitely shameful about it. There's a stigma about not having to be on government assistance, but this is not a time, I think, to be shameful about it. So it's time to feed your kids, if you can. So there's a lot of different things that are rolling out. And 880 pages was the stimulus, the CARE Act. And so everyone's trying to pour through it. I've tried to read it. That's impossible. But I try to scroll through the parts that apply to me and the people in my life. And so if anybody has questions about it, I'll go scroll to that area and try to read on it. I like reading it for some reason.
Well, so
that's about all I got.
let's say like someone like Jessica that she's in sales, it's commission based. Can she apply for unemployment too, or is it just strictly a certain type of profession?
Pretty much anybody can apply for unemployment. You can justify it by just saying you've been impacted. They're not even asking for verification because of the new CARES Act that they rolled out. So you can just say, yeah, I'm impacted by COVID-19, and that qualifies you. There's no guarantee of it. Even people who have been cut back on their hours, if you're a 40-hour-a-week employee and you've been rolled back to 35 hours, you can apply. And you may just get the supplement in that 5 hours, but anybody can apply pretty much. Pretty much all of America can apply for unemployment right now, which is crazy to me. And I'm not sure if it's helpful to the system, to the people who actually need it. So there's this fine balance when I talk to people about it. It's like, do you really need it? You know? But that also leads into bigger conversations with people on, you know, how we got to this position, if you need it or not. It's a whole long topic of things that I talk about with people, but yeah. So I think sales-based commission people, my brother's a car salesman, and for right now, he's actually really busy. I have no clue why, but there's going to be a point where he might get shut down, and he should definitely apply for unemployment. He should do it now, honestly, get in line, because there's going to be a line.
So how do you go about applying for unemployment?
Super simple. You type in your state and unemployment, and then you fill out the document online. It takes about 15 minutes. I walked my sister through it yesterday, actually. So
Nice. And then the reason that you're saying on the grant you probably won't get it or be approved is because there's just limited money. Is that why you're saying that?
So the Small Business Association is kind of like an arm of the government, and they are still figuring out how to roll out all of these changes that came in the CARE Act. So the CARE Act came out, Congress did their thing. Well, the SBA still has to adopt to those things that have been rolled out and figure out how to even allocate the money, how to take in applications, how to prioritize people. There's a real mess when it comes to the SBA. So if you're running a small business, you just need to hang on for as long as you possibly can. The grant, they did it really odd. They rolled it out, and I can send you the link. You're actually applying for disaster relief, and at the very end, there's a checkbox that says, "Would you like to apply for a $10,000 grant?" And so you click that. So even if they deny you for the relief, you're still eligible for the $10,000 grant. If that makes sense.
And that's all on the application. Someone sent me a copy of the application, and Jackie and I were actually looking at it yesterday. And I found the application, and then I was like, there's nowhere to send it.
Yeah. So you may not got the right application, because there's a bunch of applications out there that were prior to this current crisis.
Gotcha.
So like Katrina, all the stuff that happened in the flooding in Houston, those were a different type of disaster relief. And because they're the high volume, SBA put out a express website specifically for the COVID-19 pandemic, problem. And it honestly, it took me about 5 minutes to fill that one out. You just got to make sure you check the one at the end that says, yes, I would like to apply. Because they could deny you for the disaster relief, but still you might be eligible for the $10,000 grant. But again, that's a grant, so the money will run out. They're expecting to pass another, depending on how fast it drains out, they're planning on refunding that grant. So anybody who may not get it this round has a better chance of getting it the next round. You've already applied. So maybe I should just put together a little link package. I've been getting links from everybody, it seems like. So
that would be great.
And maybe I'm going about it. Yeah, maybe I'm going about the wrong way, and I'm filling out all of these things. But before I fill them out, I do a lot of research into it. I have I deal with, I think, 8 different banks right now. And so talking to all of our lenders, trying to keep our relationships going, I'm asking them what research they're doing, what they're hearing from the Small Business Association. And so I'm getting a lot of people who are giving me the links that this is actually coming straight from the Small Business Association, passed on to their clients, which is me. So I'm just trying to pass it on to people who may not have that connection to a lender, to, you know, a large banking system, to try to help them out. So.
Yeah, that's great. Does anybody else have questions for David? Anybody?
And I'm just that good.
I know. I'm really, really glad that you've been talking about this. And sometimes for me, the lack of questions is honestly because I'm like, I don't understand what I don't understand yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to grab some notes real quick from a call yesterday, and I might come back with a question. So somebody else pop in here if you have something.
Okay. Well, I guess my question to you, David, would be, what advice do you have for people that are panicking, and what's going to happen if, you know, the rumors right now, like today, the rumor is we're going to war and we're going to be hit in the middle of April. And, you know, if that's the case, like, and of course, I've also heard this is going to last until June, which I do possibly believe that because of just my friend in China and the time it took for his company to open back up and to get payroll going again, you know, was 3 months from the time it first hit. So, you know, March, April, May, that puts us in June. So do you have any advice? Like, what are you telling the people that are freaking out? And, you know, if you can't pay your utility bills or your mortgage or your car payment, what are you telling them?
Well, it's kind of a loaded question because everybody's going to have their degree to which they're all going to freak out. I think we all have this underlining anxiety. You know, I haven't seen or talked to anybody who doesn't feel anxious because we just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know what's going to happen to us personally, whether it's being health or health of the family or our financial health. You know, nobody really knows what's going to happen. And so, you know, I think that right now, I mean, I've been telling people and what I've been doing for myself is just, what am I putting inside me? You know, am I watching the news, listening to all this fear-based, you know, I don't want to call it anything that it isn't. It's just a lot of people are definitely reacting out of a fear, and which is understandable. And I think a lot of people are going through all 5 stages of grief. You know, it starts with, what is it? Man, I just said this the other day. I had it memorized. Denial, anger. Somebody help me out.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, denial, anger, bargaining.
Bargaining.
No, acceptance, like bargaining, depression, and then acceptance.
Yes, that's the last one. Yes.
And so my advice to people is they should get to acceptance as soon as possible, because it is what it is. You know, you can try to deny that we're all being locked up, deny that it's probably going to last for a while, and this may just be part of our life, you know, for a long time. We don't know how long this is going to be. It could be 3 years that we're kind of dealing with this virus in whatever way that means. Even, you know, down to the economic impact. Even if the virus goes away in June or April, whenever it goes away, the economic impact is going to be pretty long. That's everybody that's in economics is saying that's going to have a huge impact for 10 years. So I think that people just need to get to a place of acceptance that this is where it's going to be. And no matter what's going to happen, we need to accept it and be okay with it, you know?
So how do you have advice on how to get there? It's funny that you're talking about this because I literally just got off another call, and through coaching, and it's real estate coaching, they were told, go to the worst place. Just sit down with yourself and think, how bad can this really get? Like, let's just go there. And then come to accept it, and then you're set.
Yeah.
So do you have a tip?
That's exactly my tip. You know, we've sat down and, you know, I don't know. I have a weird way of looking at just about anything, mainly because I've been in a place of zero money, zero house. I've lived in my car, you know, I'm okay with that, mainly because I don't care what people think for the most part. I mean, we all care a little bit. I understand that, but like, I can go right back to living in a tent down by the river and be just fine. I know how to get right back to where I am when this is all over. And I think that I have positivity and optimism about the future, that if for a short time period, yeah, I've got to move into my car for a little bit, I'm okay with that. You know, that's going to hurt, but I've already pictured my life like that and I'm okay with it. And now I've just trying to not get there, you know, and with positivity. I don't I don't know how to change people, because most people, I think it really starts with, again, what are you putting into you? You know, what are you putting in? If you're waking up every morning and watching the news, it's not a good input. It just never is. It's never a good input. And so you're starting your day off with just negativity, and you have to overcome that obstacle. But if you wake up every day, you write down your goals, you write down your gratitudes in the morning, and maybe read an hour, or exercise, or do yoga,
Read
or
something positive, not a
yeah,
horror book.
anything but watch the news right now, because everything's doom and gloom and it changes constantly. And so I don't know. I mean, just anything.
I know, but my point is, I know people that I'll say, read something. In my mind, I'm thinking, read a positive book like You Are a Badass. And then they go to like CSI or detective movies or murder, and it's still a negative thing that they're putting in their brain. Read something that's going to fill your cup.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely read something. And I'm a little odd when I come to my reading. I like to read where people messed up, especially financially. So I read a lot of books of people who had been through like the 2008 crash, the 2000 crash, the 90s crash, and look at like what they did, whether it be business or investing, or even just down to just like what they did to overcome when they lost everything.
Do you have some books that you can recommend to us? Because I would love to read that.
I am the worst at reading books, remembering to like the titles and the authors and all of that. I'm much better at putting together like lists of things. Obviously, I know from past conversations, one of my favorite authors is Grant Cardone, mainly because he doesn't really beat around the bush. He kind of just goes after it. Plus, he's got 30 years of experience of business and real estate. The guy has been there, done that. No matter what area in your life you're at, or even if you're down to a drug addict, he's been there, and he can relate to how you are and dig you out of it. So I love Grant. Sometimes he's a little over the top, but he.
I love Grant Cardone too.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Anything by Robert Kiyosaki is really good, mainly because he's come from zero. So I really like when people have a real background, things like that. Depending on what else you're involved. I mean, if you're looking for like a good business book, God, I have it sitting right here, over here next to my nightstand. I was reading it. I've read it before, but I like to go back and like review it. The 4 Disciplines of Execution by Sean Covey. I can never remember that guy's name, but
I've never read that.
It's amazing. Definitely worth couple of days. It's an easy read, but especially if I know Davey was earlier talking about the back end of your website, or sorry, your business. Putting together a team, managing people, working together with people, organization, instilling this desire to overcome things. It's a great book for that. So just sometimes I like to just review old books that I've read, just to kind of like, oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah, I can't remember. Jackie, you may remember. Someone was saying that every time you read a book, you there's things that you don't see because you weren't ready to absorb it. It's like the teacher appears when the student is ready, and so you can read a book multiple times and you're going to get something different every time. Yeah.
What Bob Proctor said in his book, You Were Born Rich, is that read the same book multiple times. The text doesn't change, you have changed.
Yeah.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. I've not read any of Bob Proctor's stuff, but I've watched a lot of his videos. I really like that guy.
Yeah, really good. The classics are good. I'm reading last night. I read 3 hours into Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, Napoleon Hill's awesome. Yes, Think and Grow Rich.
An amazing book.
Yeah.
And if you go to Audible, that book's has a great narration with it.
Yeah. Anything Napoleon Hill right now would be perfect.
Perfect. Absolutely.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
my question, David, and anybody else that wants to chime in, please, anybody or maybe everybody, I'm really trying to compile sources of trust, people that you trust. I was on a business call last night, and some of the market leaders that they're following are the ones that you mentioned, like Grant Cardone and Gary Vee. Who else do you guys turn to? What are you doing to watch the market and to watch maybe what our trends are for the coming months? It would be nice to have a pulse on that.
I don't want to answer anything. I want somebody else to chime in.
Okay.
I don't want to talk the whole time.
Carol, are you there, babe? Do you have anything? Let's see.
Carol?
She's gone.
Carol, okay. We see your name.
Well, for the number of Zooms that we all are probably living on right now, the call I was on earlier today, it used to be common that I would have a basketball game on in the background. The kids might be dancing in and out of the room and they'd be watching the game. You know what I mean? Or somebody else might just have Netflix on while they're cooking supper. But this has become my new norm. I have Zoom meetings on 8 hours a day. And even if I can't be there present, I'm listening and trying to absorb. And do I have delay?
Yeah, a little bit.
Am I delayed?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm watching myself and it's like, wow.
And you're so... Nice.
Well, oh, Carol dropped off. Does anyone else have any questions? Emily, what are your thoughts? You're a school teacher, dude. What do you think?
Resources, put them out there.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, I feel just like a sense of security right now. I feel optimistic and I feel positive. I feel thankful that I'm doing what I'm doing. Yes, we're having to do things differently now. But we're still, we're still connecting with our kids. We're still, out there reaching out to them. It's a little bit hard to know what to do and who to turn to and who to trust. But right now I'm not really contemplating that. So.
Gotcha. Good. I see Carol's on now. Carol, can you answer Jackie's question?
I didn't hear her question. What was her question? I got disconnected because I had a call from a client that his father just passed away. So I got disconnected. What was the question?
I'm trying to compile some trusted resources, people to watch for maybe trends in the market or other people that you trust that you're really honing into every day to see what their thoughts are on our current global community.
Okay. So what market? And real estate or?
Anything. Who do you trust right now is what I'm trying, because I don't want to turn on CNN. I don't want to just pop into Yahoo. The guys last night on a big financial call, they're talking about Gary Vee as being their trusted source. So it can be as easy as that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what are we looking for? A source for what? For just to see what's going to happen? Because nobody knows what's going to happen. I mean, they're guessing what's happening.
Two things. Okay. I feel so delayed right now.
No,
Two
no, it
things.
is a little delay.
Okay. All right. So it's the two areas, a trusted news source for really like the temperature of how this pandemic is affecting our economy. And then secondly, who do you trust for what are the opportunities that are going to be available
Okay.
or that are available?
So do you need a person to speak or talk about it?
I'm just asking. I want it for me.
Oh,
I
my
want it for you
husband.
guys. Nice. Okay. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And
TC.
how do I tap into that?
Yeah.
I'll just connect you with him, and then you can, talk to him about it. Yesterday, I was looking at some stocks and some things to do and buy, and he was, kind of telling me, no, don't waste your time in this and that. Because I was looking, like you say, on the news and Googling and all this, and is trying to do it myself. And he starts explaining to me why not that company, or why invest in this one in the long run is better. Because but he knows a lot, so he will be a good source for you to talk about it. I thought it's for you guys to have a speaker for that too. He has a lot of time now that we can't go to the office.
Yeah, I don't really want.
Who is this that we're talking about?
Her husband.
Oh.
Well, Carol, why don't you give a little bit of background of your husband? So David and Emily and Jessica know about him.
Okay. So my husband, it's an attorney here in San Diego. He does civil litigation, bankruptcy, and real estate fraud. And he is also an accountant. So he went to school to be an accountant. He's a lawyer, and he studies a lot the market in every single way. So is an investor. We own a lot of real estate. So he pretty much know overall about economy and all that stuff. So it's a good source to, basic questions. And he's been into the up and down market many times. He's 50, so many times. I hope he can.
Be nice.
I know. So it's a good source for that kind of information that you want, Jackie. And if you guys want him to speak about a subject somewhere, he loves talking. So just tell him how long he has to talk, and he will. And it's good information. Like my friends, like tonight we're gonna have a Zoom call about their investment and their things, and what to get rid of and what not, what to hold. So yeah, anytime, Jackie, let me know.
Well, Carol, do you have any idea of what that is? Like what he's suggesting that you get rid of and what you hold?
As far as real estate, we're not getting rid of anything. He wants to keep that because in the long run, even if it goes down, he sold few stocks that he said doesn't matter what happens, it's not gonna go that good, and bought more like Apple, big strong companies, even though they're expensive, but it's better. I have more as the companies that have paid big dividend, but he goes, no, in the long run, you want companies that, the percentage will just go skyrocketing. Like yesterday, Apple was 294, something like that. It hasn't been that low in a long time. So I went and bought that. So his suggestion is to always stay with the strong companies that that are going to survive no matter what. Netflix, it's a good one.
Zoom.
Yes, I heard about Zoom, but it's not that. People are not gonna spend money much on that. People are gonna buy computers. People are gonna buy phones because they like to have the best things to come out. So yeah, just companies like that. But as far as stocks, he sold some, but real estate, he's gonna hold it no matter what. And we hold real estate through really, really bad times. Because it's on the long run, it's what gives you the passive income. Like right now, everybody's freaking out, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Freaked out. If we don't go back to work, we don't go back to work. But to get there, it took time. So we went through a really tough time in 2009 because we were not prepared for it. So we'll have to file bankruptcy back then. So we all have to do their things to get it cleaned up. But now that you learn from the experiences, then you learn, like, okay, what's the good thing to do and have and invest right now? So I will not have this same problem in 10 years when it happens again.
Absolutely. What do you tell people? Because I know you work with him a lot in the company. You know, I'm sure there's people out there thinking, I'm going to have to claim bankruptcy. And
there's going to be a new shift. It's going to be a new whole wave of bankruptcies. They're already expecting it.
Who are the people that you would say, you need to do this, it's going to make your life better? And who are the people that are just freaking out and should not?
The ones, I'm sorry. Did I click? Okay. The ones that should file is if you have more credit card debt than 6 months of your living expenses, you definitely need to file, because you're not going to catch up with that. You know, if you are out of work for 6 months and you owe that on credit card, you should just do it now before you struggle for so long paying minimum payments on credit cards. So people that have very big, you know, credit card, or they're past due on the house more than 3 months, definitely it will help to file Chapter 13, because they will save their home and give them time to recover and find a job in, you know, another 3 months or 6 months from now. So there are few people that need to file bankruptcy right away. Who doesn't? Maybe if you have like little credit cards, yeah, and you know that's gonna pick up the business in 3 months, don't freak out. You don't have to yet.
I have a client that has a lot of medical debt from a sickness, and he has considered filing bankruptcy or selling a property to pay off the medical debt. Is that something that he should do?
Don't pay the medical debt. Why?
That's what I thought, but of course, I'm not a financial expert.
If he qualifies, because the first thing is it's over there, right? So he needs to go and consult with an attorney there to see how much protection does he get. How old is he?
Oh, he's probably in his 40s, is my guess.
Okay, so yes, he needs to see in how much does he have in equity?
Quite a bit. Like enough to pay the medical debt off, and so he's thinking he's going to sell the house and pay the medical debt off and then rent.
And have no money left?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense.
But I think it's more of he wants to be done with the debt. He's more like obsessed with getting rid of the debt.
Haven't talked to a bankruptcy attorney there, because the laws are different in each state. Haven't talked there and see how much can he protect, because it's a homestead protection for everybody. So like we can protect up to 100,000 in equity because of the kids and everybody. So over there, I don't know how much you can protect, but if he doesn't have how much money he makes a lot of money.
He makes pretty good money. Yeah. He just wants to get rid of the debt.
Haven't talked to the bankruptcy attorney over there and tell them if there is a possibility that he can file a Chapter 13, in which he's going to make payments, but he doesn't have to pay the whole thing.
Okay.
If he makes a lot of money.
They'll negotiate that payment, or
they make a partial payment for 3-5 years, and whatever doesn't get paid off doesn't get paid off.
Nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. But I haven't talked to somebody. Don't let him just pay it.
Okay. Well, that's what, I was like, Okay. Good advice. Thank you, Carol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anybody else? Let's go back to David. Do you have any words of wisdom that you want to say to, like, what would you tell your best friend right now?
Me? You're talking to me?
Well, I was asking David. We were going to go back to David. He started leading,
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was muted. Actually, I was telling my best friend the other day just to stay calm. It just depends on everybody's circumstance, just like Carol was saying. It just depends on where they are financially, health-wise. Everybody needs their own advice right now, but for the most part, everyone just needs to relax. We're all kind of quarantined up or trying to work from home. All we need to do is just stay calm. You know, it'll be over eventually. And whatever you're going through, just get to the acceptance stage as fast as possible. And I liked your little tidbit there. I didn't realize I had done it, I guess, but looking at the worst case scenario and accepting that as this could happen to you and being okay with that, accepting it, and then whatever happens is probably not going to be nearly as bad. But in that meantime, if you're in a bad place where you're freaking out, you should probably figure out what you've done wrong the last 10 years during an economy that's been amazing. You know, looking back at all the dumb things that you purchased, you know, the things you were, yeah, all the things that you were afraid to invest in, or, you know, just like Carol was talking about, buying Apple stock. It's a great idea if you're into stocks, you know, if you have the extra income, but looking at what you're going to do to prevent the next downturn, which is going to happen, you know, 8 to 10 years from now. So
that's great. That's great. Well, I'm going to end the recording on that because that's just amazing advice, you guys. And thank you. And in this.